Welcome back to episode number 4 of the Triple Threat podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the conclusion of the NBA season and the NBA Finals, the Clippers hiring Ty Lue as head coach, the Rockets drama, and more. And we're also going to be drafting our top 15 players to build around for the next 5 years. So first, let's start with the NBA season. Jacob, I'll go to you as a Lakers fan. How does it feel to have the Lakers as an NBA championship again?
It feels good. It's been a long 10 years, very long 10 years, very frustrating. I want to say, was it very frustrating 8 years? Those 2013 Lakers. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Awful. But, it does feel good that knowing we're back on top. Now we can officially say we're the best team in LA.
I think that obviously for the Heat's case, Jimmy Butler had a fantastic series, and he's proved that he's elevated himself to a top player in this league. I think he's definitely a bona fide superstar above guys like Kyrie Irving until he proves that he can come back. Paul George, Russell Westbrook. I think he's elevated past those guys as a player. And I think another guy that you'll see on the come up is a guy that he played against in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Jason Tatum. But I think that those guys are elevating towards stardom, and especially for Jimmy's case, I think the Heat will be back. Maybe not in 2020 with the Brooklyn Nets coming back, but as a threat in 2021 to land Giannis or Kawhi or one of the superstar free agents in the free agent class. And I think they're going to bring back Dragic and Crowder for the next year on like 1-year deals to maintain flexibility. So the Heat will be really good for the next season, and it'll be interesting to see if they bring back Myers Leonard. Obviously, he had a good regular season as a starter for them, and he sparingly played in the bubble. He started obviously because of Bam's injury, but he only played about 12 minutes a game. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets brought back or if he'll go on to another team. But everybody seems to love him in that locker room, so it'll be interesting for them. One thing that the Lakers did to win this championship was start Alex Caruso. What did you guys think about Caruso moving the starting lineup to replace Dwight?
I'll start this one off since being
Well,
Lakers.
let me say something real quick.
Okay.
Alex Caruso is nothing more than a meme. No, don't overthink it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I thought it was a very bold move, especially over the White. The White's has been playing really good this whole year, but I really don't know why we did it. I thought we should have started the White, but it really doesn't matter since we won. But Caruso does bring really good defense on the floor, so that's probably why. So he's not really nothing. He's more than a meme at CJ. I see.
He
him.
wasn't white, balding, and really ugly. You would not hear about Alex Caruso.
Or if he was on the different team besides the Lakers.
He'd still be a meme because Jimmer was a meme. All the dudes, they're white. Tower Hero, he only gets that attention.
Tyler Hero's not a meme now. Come on now.
Tower Hero is not very good. He's proven that in the finals.
I will say he did have some really good games in the finals. He also had some very bad games in the finals. He has a lot to improve on. He's very young.
Tower Hero will never be an all-star in the NBA.
And
I think that's interesting because like his shooting potential and his scoring potential means like for one season, if a guy gets hurt or if he elevates himself, like he could average 20 points per game. The Heat are going to be a top team in the East for like a couple of years to come. So like I could see him.
He's going to average less next year than he did this year.
Why? Why do you think that?
They might trade for Oladipo. I don't like Tower Hero.
I don't think. Go ahead.
I think he's gonna have a sophomore slump. I think that's real.
I don't. Yeah.
He was just riding the wave, dude. It's all about getting hot, and the Heat were hot at the right time, but Tower Hero's not that good.
I don't think that Victor Oladipo makes sense for any team right now until you see what you have in him. I think more shots are going to come to him next season because of the levels of trust that they kind of developed in the postseason prior to the finals, especially in Boston. He had that insane 37-point game that really shifted the momentum in the Heat's favor.
The problem was Daniel Tice was terrible. He's gone, so
he's not. I don't think it's.
If we had a different center, then Tyler Hero would not have done what he did.
But I think that I think that Hero will get more shots. I don't know who's gonna be the starting point guard next year in Miami because I don't know if they'll go back to none to preserve Dragic's legs for next season, or if not, it'll just be none because he's better because Dragic is older. He's coming off the plantar fascia injury, and none takes a step forward, and he's 100% cured from COVID, and he's working out every day, or what the Heat will do. But to go back to the Caruso point, when they started Caruso, I thought it was really interesting because Caruso is a guy that's willing to shoot, but he's not a great shooter.
Mhm.
But what he does bring to the table is a really good defense. And I think guys, when they play with Caruso, are fired up to play with him. I mean, you've seen like the enthusiasm of LeBron and AD and JaVale. Yeah,
No, 'cause he brings
it's
that. He's that goat of the team. He's that inner core of the team.
he brings team chemistry, which is essential. And then the
Your
Lakers
guys
have
were
like
way better than him. Like KCP, way better. Rondo, way better. I think Danny Green's better than him.
I mean, here's the thing. I think that team chemistry proved itself in the NBA. We saw the Clippers; they didn't do much. The teams with team chemistry, the Heat, who've been bonded all season long, they stuck together. All the Heat culture talk led to them getting to the finals. And the Lakers, they've been bonding like brothers the entire season. And even for the Nuggets case, the Nuggets have been around. They're homegrown, and they were excited for guys like Michael Porter Jr. to take a step in the bubble, and they were able to make it to the conference finals, beating those Clippers teams. So I think team chemistry prevailed in this bubble, because also as you don't have your family in that bubble, and these guys are your family, and you're building your relationships with them, and that's what caused those teams to play good basketball.
This was the weakest postseason in basketball history. Like the finals, especially. Everyone knew who was going to win. It was so boring. This reminded me a lot of the year LeBron's last year in Cleveland, that finals versus the Warriors. But in these ratings were even worse because different. Whether you want to blame the social issues that they wanted to highlight, or just not having fans, not having just a different environment, but
the lack of viewership in China because of the ban they put on the NBA in China for a year hurt them as well, because they get a lot of viewers from China. So,
well, for good reason. But
and also the Warriors, when they had the team with KD, they were virtually unstoppable. You knew they were going to win the series.
Yeah, I think we can go into the Nets now. I think the Nets are. I think they should be the favorites coming out of the East.
Yeah, they should be. KD and Kyrie.
It'll be interesting.
I have to disagree with you. I think Kyrie Irving is better than Jimmy Butler, just because of what he can do on the offensive end. Jimmy Butler, he tends to disappear at times. He's not a true scorer. Don't get me wrong. He has his moments when he's super clutch, but I think overall Kyrie's a better player.
I say Kyrie has more overall confidence, not confidence, but in his offensive game, because there are times where Jimmy Butler only shoots 12 shots a game, and that should have never happened for Jimmy Butler.
Because he can't get his own shot whenever he wants, really.
He can get his own shot.
Not like Kyrie, not to that level.
Yeah.
Think he can to that level?
To Kyrie's level?
Yeah.
No, I mean Kyrie's a pure shot creator. Jimmy Butler is a playmaker and a shot creator.
Well,
When Kyrie has the ball, he's looking to score. When Jimmy Butler has the ball, he's looking to pass, then score.
Prime example, the Timberwolves thing with the third stringers.
He only took one shot that practice. You guys know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's looking to distribute. But to go back to your Kyrie versus Jimmy Butler point, I'm going to take Jimmy Butler because of his defense. Kyrie Irving is a lackluster perimeter defender, and Jimmy Butler's
that much of defense from Jimmy Butler. From what I saw when he was guarding Tatum, I wasn't that impressed.
He was guarding LeBron, man. He was guarding LeBron 45 minutes a game.
Yeah.
I wasn't even watching the finals. I knew he was going to win. It was so cool.
I mean, he guarded LeBron 45 minutes a game and poured his blood, sweat, and tears.
He got his ass busted.
And then he would switch on to Anthony Davis in the pick and roll.
LeBron's 6'8" compared to Jimmy Butler. It's going to be a mismatch every single time.
LeBron's 6'8", 265.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean. I mean,
hey, Jimmy got he had a clutch block on LeBron in the clutch when LeBron drove on Tyler Hero. Jimmy Butler's help side, and he blocked shot.
He also got the L.
You're as hard-headed, aren't you? But it's okay.
I don't think these guys are that good. Jimmy Butler's top 10, top 20, probably top 15, but top 10, I
He's
wouldn't.
definitely top 15. Top 10, yeah, it's kind of hard because, like, your top 10, you got LeBron, KD, Giannis, Steph, Harden, Luka, Dame, Jokic. It's just hard to put guys like that up there. I think I'm forgetting somebody, but
Kyrie,
it,
probably, maybe.
I don't think Kyrie's
No.
top 10 in the league.
I think
I
Kyrie's
don't really think Kyrie's all that.
12.
Top 12.
Huh?
Yeah, probably around number 12.
I don't know. I think he's above Westbrook, but below Dame and Luka. So
Yeah, I'd probably put Dame over him right now, but I think Kyrie's gonna show he's better than Dame next year. I think they're gonna be legit because I think they're gonna trade Karis LeVert to get a third star.
who's the third star?
Yeah.
No,
Drew Holiday.
I don't think Drew Holiday's that much better than Karis LeVert right now.
I think it's more so about the like two-way impact that he brings. That Karras is more so the scorer. Drew Holiday's one play off the ball.
Probably Paul George.
Bradley Beal, although he wants to stay in Washington allegedly.
Paul George, that'd be a good trade for the Clippers and the Nets.
What, Karis LeVert for Paul George?
No, Karis LeVert and other young players and probably
Jared Allen.
Okay, for Paul George. I thought you just said Karis LeVert for Paul George straight up.
I also saw that Spencer Dinwiddie was on TV yesterday, and he was talking about how he was going to play the Draymond Green role for the Brooklyn Nets, which I thought was interesting because Dinwiddie is definitely not on Draymond's caliber as a defender. He means that he's going to be like okay with only scoring maybe like 12 points sometimes, but lead the team in assists or lead the team in rebounds. But I thought that was a really kind of weird comparison because like Draymond Green he was a defensive player of the year. I don't see Spencer Dinwiddie being defensive player of the year.
You need to trade him. I would use him in a trade. I don't think
Dinwiddie's a really interesting piece.
he's not going to fit with Kyrie. I don't think.
I mean, would you? If I'm the Nets, and let's just say we hold their current roster, they don't trade Karis LeVert or Jared Allen. My starting lineup, preferably, would be Kyrie, Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, and then Jared Allen. Although I think DeAndre Jordan's going to start just because of the personal relationship he has with Kyrie and KD.
So that's the only thing that's going to get in the way of the Nets. Their egos and
Kyrie's gonna be the only person holding the Nets back.
Hopefully, Steve Nash might be able to keep him in check. I mean,
we still don't know how KD's going to come back, even though he's had a long break from the Achilles.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's Kevin Durant.
Well, Kobe was still pretty good after, but he's not going to last.
Kobe was getting older.
Yeah, he was like 36 when he tore his Achilles. KD's like what, 32, 31?
31.
He was lower 30s. He's not 36, 35.
I mean, Harden and Westbrook are 33 and 32 or something crazy like that. Or they're about to turn that. They're about to turn that, I think, or something like that.
Look it up. I think Russell Westbrook's like 31 at most.
Westbrook's been around for a while, though. Him and KD are probably the same age. Because, yeah, Westbrook was 2 years at UCLA, and then KD was 1 year at Texas.
Westbrook should be 31.
Yeah, he's about to turn 32.
30 or 31.
Yeah, so they're definitely getting older.
Harden's 31 too.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting for the Rockets, especially with Morey stepping down. And I don't really know what you do with them because you're kind of stuck at a standstill. With do you go all in with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, or do you trade those guys?
I try to get Robert Williams ASAP for cheap.
Robert Williams? I don't know. I mean, what do the Celtics have that?
He'd fit the Clint Capella role.
What do the Rockets have that the Celtics want though? They don't have picks. They traded them all for Covington and Westbrook. House.
Interesting. Maybe PJ Tucker, but I don't know. That wouldn't.
I don't think PJ Tucker's gonna get
I
traded.
think Robert Williams is a perfect fit for the Rockets. So.
I think they could explore getting back Kenneth Faried, who was on the team for a little bit, and he actually played solid.
Did he retire?
No, he's just playing in China right now. So
campaign.
He played. He can shoot. I don't know if he can really shoot, but he shot like 32% with the Rockets. So I mean, he could still be a small ball five, but also be able to roll to the basket. Although I don't think he can protect the rim like Capella
or Dwight.
Yeah, I think those guys are interesting, but I think they're going to re-up in LA. So I think one of them might go to Golden State, though. I think
Lakers,
JaVale.
the Lakers should not give them big contracts. They need to find a way to just get a third guy.
They're gonna sign 1-year deals in my opinion.
They don't need to put him on like a 3-year deal.
I mean, I think the guy that they're gonna have to pay this offseason is obviously Anthony Davis. KCP they're gonna have to pay because he's in a player option, and he played. He was their third best player, and Danny Green is making $15 million this year. And if I'm KCP, how am I not gonna go to Rob Pelinka and say I'm better? I can just say I'm better than Danny Green, or I'm just as good. You should pay me $15 million per year. And if they lose KCP, that's huge because A, they lose a member of the starting lineup, and B, they lose a lot of floor spacing. So I don't really know what to do if you're the Lakers, and you got to pay him. You got to pay Dwight, McGee. I think they're gonna have to choose between one of Dwight or JaVale. I think they're both kind of redundant if you have both of them.
I think Caruso's his contract's up after this year too.
Yeah, or I think maybe it's next year, but they've got a lot of decisions to make.
We have a lot of business decisions we got to kind of make though.
But the other guy that I think is going to get paid is Rajon Rondo. Let's talk about Rondo.
So
He obviously had a good bubble, great bubble, and he's kind of emerging himself. He's got a minimum player option, so I think he'll decline that. He could stay in LA. They obviously are going to want him back, but he's going to get offers to be starting point guards and be a starting point guard somewhere else. And their crosstown rival, the Los Angeles Clippers, are interested in him as a playmaker and a veteran locker room leader, which they kind of lacked last season.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Rondo's upcoming free agency situation?
I mean, obviously, I want him to come back.
He's not coming back. He's going to be too expensive.
But
I think it'd be
brings an element to the team, especially if he can keep shooting how he was his bubble. Be big.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting if he goes to the Clippers because that would mean Patrick Beverley's coming off the bench as like a defensive, scrappy spot up shooter rather than a point guard. Like he's handling the ball because honestly, we all know this. Rajon Rondo is a capable defender and a much better playmaker than Patrick Beverley.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, Rondo will, with the Clippers, I mean, he will set up Paul George and Kawhi for easy looks. And who knows if Paul George is going to make him in the playoff time. But it'll be interesting. And it'll be interesting to bring back Montrez and all those guys. But let's transition to Clippers. They just hired Ty Lue to be their new head coach for 5 years. What do you have to think about this hire?
Different. I'll say that, just different.
Like
5 years is a long time for Tyronn Lue.
I agree.
Yeah, they can always end up firing him. Those contracts mean nothing. I think he'll bring something different for sure. I don't know if that's good or bad because I never thought he was that good of a coach for the Cavs, but I think the Clippers are going to win it all next year, if I had to be honest. Like, Nets are favored in the East, Clippers in the West. And people are very undervaluing Paul George, like including myself and the rest of their team. If they need to make moves, fine. But the team they have right now, they can get to the finals pretty easily.
Do you think that they also brought in Chauncey Billups as their lead assistant, so that'll be interesting.
Not gonna do shit.
But do you think that honestly, with me and Ty Lue, I think Lue has 2 years of pressure because those are the 2 years that he's gonna have Kawhi and PG under contract, and if he doesn't get it done, I could see him getting fired, kind of similar to what he did in Cleveland. As soon as they were bad, he was gone. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. Clippers are definitely going to have an interesting offseason because they have the potential to obviously be really good, championship favored for this season, for this past season, and going into next season. They're going to be one of the favorites, but obviously the Golden State Warriors are coming back with a healthy Steph Curry, healthy Klay Thompson, and a rested Draymond Green. It's going to be very interesting in the Western Conference next year.
It all depends on what the Warriors do. If they draft James Wiseman and just keep everything the same, they're not going to go far. I don't think.
They're definitely. I think they can still draft James Wiseman, but I think they're going to mix it up because they've got a lot of guys. They sent a lot of guys on like 10-day contracts and 1 year rest of the season type of deals because they were so bad that they were willing to take risks with guys to see like, okay, we'll just let him play and see if he's an NBA player. And if he's not, then they're just going to let him go. And they're going to have vets that want to come play with Steph and Klay. We've seen this before. Omri Caspi, Will Cauley-Stein, guys like that, David West, JaVale, DeMarcus Cousins even following his Achilles injury with
I think it's
Pelicans.
different now because the Warriors were like an automatic ring back in the day, but now
Well, I mean, that comes with time. Everyone's getting older on the Warriors.
That's why you make a big trade for a Giannis, a Beal, an Embiid.
One thing that the Warriors still have, even though they don't have Durant, obviously, and it's a little bit more unsure of the Warriors getting a ring because other teams in the West have emerged. They still have culture, and Golden State's culture is well documented with Curry and Steve Kerr, Klay Thompson. They've got a culture that has even preserved through their injuries and the terrible year that they had this year that NBA players probably going to want to play in, and they're also playing in the new arena. They're playing in California with good weather. The Warriors are going to make some moves this season. They're nowhere close. They're not going to draft their guy and say, all right, this is all we're going to do this offseason. They're going to make
move they need
moves.
to make is trade for a superstar. You're not going to win a championship right now with just Steph and Clay. Like the NBA is too stacked right now.
Do you think
The Warriors could not deal with the Lakers at all, and arguably the Clippers too.
I mean, the Warriors, that's the thing. Like, both of those teams that we're talking about, the Lakers are not a good three-point shooting team.
Yeah.
Well, the guys
And
they're all coming off injuries. Steph, Clay.
I know, but they've got a regular season to get ready for this, man. Like, we all know what Curry and Clay can do. They're the best shooters in NBA history, best shooting backcourt ever. And when you have guys like that, they can win a series just because of their 3-point shooting, and you just can't stop it. Like, Curry could be pulling up from 40, and you could have the best defender on your team guarding him, and you just can't do anything about it. And if Steph and Clay are making shots, which they're going to be coming out rested, they're going to come out with a vengeance. Draymond Green, I firmly believe, is going to come back to being an elite player, and I think the Warriors are going to be back next season.
You know, your description of Curry, that reminded me a lot of a player. Trae Young. Yeah.
Do you think Trae Young brings the double team every time he's off the ball, though?
He brings it a lot. I mean, if you get Trae Young in a one-on-one, you're either getting hit with a three or he's crappy enough to get by you.
All right. Well, since we're talking about young, go ahead.
The Warriors don't make a move; they just draft James Wiseman or LaMelo Ball or whatever. They're going to end up as a 4 through 6 seed. You know, you never know what the Warriors are going to do.
The Warriors definitely can still be dangerous. I mean,
but they could be, but realistically 4 through 6 seed. They're not going to get a top seed.
You don't think they can pass Denver next season for the 3 seed?
Denver's a really good regular season team. You know, they might not want to play Steph and Curry every game. I don't think they're very deep with their bench. They have a lot of rookies, sure, but I don't think those guys are ready.
I think Pascal is ready. I think in the limited time he got, Kai Bowman was pretty solid last year. Jordan Poole, I don't really trust yet in a rotation. But I think that the Warriors are definitely going to have some free agency targets. And I think Aaron Baines is a really interesting fit for them. He kind of gives them the Andrew Bogut, Zaza Pachulia mold of a hard screener and rebounder, and he's a willing defender, especially when contesting shots at the rim. But he also brings a different aspect to the game that those guys didn't have, and that's floor spacing and perimeter shooting. Aaron Baines.
I would not. He's going to command a contract. You don't throw him a long contract.
Hey, it's going to be different this season with the pandemic. Like, we don't even know what the salary come numbers are like, and like because of that, people might want to take 1-year deals because the salary will go up next season. And if you give Aaron Baines the mid-level exception, I count that as a win for the Warriors.
Yeah, like Aaron Baines, he's going to want to get as much money as he can right now, long term, because he knows that his play from last season is not sustainable.
I mean, let's be honest here. Like, with the cap space getting changed this season due to the pandemic, and like the cap numbers are going down because of no fans, players are going to be forced to settle for less than what they're worth. I think there's only a few guys that you can guarantee on getting big deals that are long term. Obviously, Anthony Davis is one of them, unless you prefer to stay 1-on-1 and 1+1 and just match his contract with LeBron. I think Fred VanVleet's a guarantee to get a lot of money. I think that Christian Wood is a guarantee to get a lot of money. But other than that, who else can you name?
Brandon
Ingram
sucks. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I don't know. If the Warriors go out and get Aaron Baines or whatever, it's not going to solve any of their problems. It's horrible on defense. I can tell
But
you
he's
that as a Celtics fan.
but he's willing. And when you have to realize that the Warriors have a defensive scheme to where they've got one of the best help defenders of all time in Draymond Green as a help defender. And Baines is willing to contest shots at the rim, and he's a really good screen setter. And the Warriors have a lot of philosophy
Also
about.
get dunked on by Giannis, so he's not.
I mean, Aaron Baines is a willing screen setter, and when his screens are bruising, and when you have guys like Steph and Clay running around screens for 40 minutes a night, like he's gonna get them open shots, and those shots are gonna be hit. And if both guys double, they can just make an easy pass. And the Warriors are strive with ball movement, and they don't isolate. They didn't isolate unless Kevin Durant was isolating, and there's no KD, so it'll be interesting for the Warriors. They're gonna be really good. I think they're gonna be really good.
They don't make a trade, they will regret that for sure. Big time.
I think that it could go either way. It really depends because like if there might not be any stars available this offseason. Like let's be honest, like there's no Paul George, there's no CP3, there's no Westbrook that are glaring stars. Kawhi, like this free agent class is Anthony Davis, who's going to resign in LA, Brandon Ingram, who's going to get any offer matched by the Pelicans. There's no true superstar available in free agency. There's no stars available via trade. Like
You know that though. We don't know anything. All these trades come out of nowhere. Teams say they don't want to trade just to drive up the price, but if you give them Warriors have plenty to trade. Number 2 pick, Wiggins
yeah,
pick next year from the Wolves. Like they could go out and get Giannis. Like 100% would pull that.
I'm going to stay with my point. I don't think they're going to trade Giannis because this is Milwaukee's best chance to win a championship. And like, there's no free agents that want to go to Milwaukee. Like all the team ups for big name stars are LA, Miami, and that's pretty much it, honestly. Like Golden State, but they're in California or Florida teams. And obviously there's the big three in Boston that was formed, but that was via trade and Paul Pierce staying his entire career there pretty much in his prime.
Well, they're gonna be looking pretty salty when Giannis leaves for nothing. I would have gotten something.
I don't. They're not going to trade Giannis because if they trade Giannis, then they're just not going to be a contender for another however many years. And I think the Bucks are going to try their absolute best to win this championship with Giannis on their roster. And other than that, then you just got to live with it. I mean, the Thunder got to live with KD going, and they got to live with Giannis.
But think about it: Miami, Boston, and the Nets all in your same division, and that's not even counting Golden State, LA, both LA teams. Like,
I know, but like just in examples through history, the Thunder didn't trade Durant. The Orlando Magic didn't trade Shaq when Jordan was coming back. Like, would you have traded Shaq when you had Penny Hardaway, Horace Grant, Nick Anderson? You had all these guys that looked like the team. They were the team that beat Michael Jordan last season. Like, you just don't trade those guys. You don't trade the generational type talents. All right. So to conclude this episode, we're going to be drafting the top 15 players to build around, regardless of age. I know we did previously, like guys under 25 years old, but we're going to be drafting the top 15 players to build around. Any age for the next 5 years. Who wants the first pick?
I'll take the third pick.
All right, CJ, you want 2 or do you want to pick 1?
I'll take 2. You go first.
All right. So with my pick, I'm going to be taking Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks, number 1 overall. I think that when you average 29, 9, and 9 in your second season in the league, it's pretty glaring that you're a superstar. The other guy that I considered with this pick, which I'm sure CJ will take with the next pick, is Giannis. But I think that Luka profiles as a generational type player, and he's gonna be great for a long time. And he's obviously a playmaker, and I think guys are going to play with Luka because he will get you the ball. And I think Dallas is going to take a big step next year, and I think Luka is going to be a MVP candidate, which he already was in his sophomore season. That just doesn't happen. I think Luka is a generational type talent, and I really think you can't go wrong with going him or Luka or him or Giannis with your first pick. So with that being said, CJ, go ahead with your second pick.
I'm actually going to go Anthony Davis for his pick. He definitely showed out. Yeah, his ability to stretch the floor. The only issue with Giannis is his inability to shoot. And teams can obviously they can build around that like the Heat did, but No, I would 100% take Anthony Davis, Giannis, Tatum. No, Tatum, but over Luka Doncic. I would confidently pick them over Luka, but it's okay to have differing opinions. It's okay. Jacob.
All right,
So-
Jacob, we're up 3 and 4.
And 3, 4. Well, my third pick, I'm gonna take Giannis, obviously. And my fourth pick, or these are players just to build around, right? Anybody?
Yeah.
Give me
Next
Kawhi.
5 years.
Next
Kawhi?
5 years. Why? My fourth pick.
I don't think. I mean, Giannis. I'm really surprised that he fell below pick 2. But Kawhi is an interesting
I'm up,
pick.
right?
Yeah, you're up. But I like the Kawhi pick. I think that's really interesting. First bet.
We are pairing Anthony Davis with Trey Young.
I mean, we're not like making these teams up. But like
I know.
Trae Young.
Trey Young, yes.
Trae Young at 5.
Trey Young will win an MVP.
Oh my gosh.
I think you picked Luka 1.
That's
Oh,
not
18.
far fetched.
Yes, it is.
Jacob, what do you think about me picking Luka at pick 1?
He's better than Trae Young. Way better than Trae Young. Way better. The only thing Trae Young has on him is being faster than him.
Shooting. He's a better shooter than Luka.
Come on, CJ. Like Luka's a generational talent in his second year.
CJ, he was in MVP voting his sophomore year.
Trey Young's
He was a
numbers.
first team All NBA, man. First team All NBA, top 5 player this season. That's crazy. You just don't have.
Just wait on it. Luka has no ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have a ceiling. Like he gets better and better.
He'll consistently be around what he is today, which is
What do you
borderline
think
top.
he'll be?
But
Dude, Luka's like Magic Johnson.
if
Without
Trey
the
was
defense.
on a winning team, you guys would definitely feel better about him. But
He puts up empty stats, man.
He puts up mediocre numbers.
you could argue Luka.
Mediocre.
I mean, come on, man. Plus, like,
just wait.
CJ, you're basically taking the worst defender in the league at pick 5.
And you picked second worst at 1.
Luka is not the 5th worst.
I know, I'm kidding. Luka's not the best defender here. Just pick Isaac.
All right, well, with my 5th and my 6th picks, I'm gonna take Jason Tatum and Nikola Jokic. I think Jason Tatum was pretty obvious with his season that he had. He elevated himself as a playmaker. He's the go-to guy in the clutch now for the Celtics, and he was one of their best defenders. And I think he's gonna turn into a guy like Kawhi Leonard. His defense is elite. We know his mid-range game, and he improved that 3-point shot this year. His step-back threes was 3rd to Harden and Luka, which is an evolving art of the game. You kind of need a step-back 3 to be elite. And we saw with Jokic that he was the best center in the league this bubble, and he elevated himself to be the best. He already is probably the best passing center of all time. He had clutch shot for clutch shot. He would get the ball in the post, and he'd just do his thing. And I think Jokic was a obvious pick there.
Okay, for this next pick, I'm basing this solely off of ceiling, but give me Zion.
I pick 8.
Yeah, he has the potential to absolutely dominate if he can develop his shot more and stay healthy. Because if he gets the ball deep in the post, you can put 2 points on the board.
My pick?
Yeah, you got 2 back to back.
What time is it?
Dame time?
Dame time. Damian Lillard, baby.
So you got Dame as your first pick. Who's your second pick gonna be?
Jacob, he's 30 years old currently.
Hey, CJ, Trae Young's awful. I get another pick. Sorry.
Yeah, you get another pick.
Give me Ben Simmons.
Oh, dang it. Stole my pick.
Ha ha ha.
I like that pick a lot.
Benjamin Simmons.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
My turn, right?
Yeah, you're up, CJ.
Give me Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown?
I can't.
What do you mean? He's improved every fucking year.
Oh. Yeah, he has, but
insert Stephen A memes.
There's just guys that I'm thinking of that like
they're just guys up there than Jaylen Brown.
I'd rather have.
Jaylen Brown's top 30, arguably.
That's Jaylen Brown.
We talked about this, Isaac, remember?
Yeah, I like Jaylen Brown. Don't get me wrong, but it's just interesting.
There are certain guys that are still available, and you said Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I thought there was a different guy you were going to go with in the direction of. But I've got my next two picks. I'm going to take – I don't know. I'm debating between some guys. I'm going to take – I think I'm going to take Devin Booker with one of my picks.
Okay.
I think that his scoring is elite, and his playmaking improved this season in Phoenix. And the bubble, albeit I mean, it was only 8 games, very small sample size against some teams that were already content with their seed and were making the biggest impact in the world and trying to win a game. But I think Booker's playmaking has elevated himself, and I picked him over Donovan Mitchell. I'm not going to pick Donovan Mitchell with my next pick, but that was another guy I was considering. But I did like Devin Booker, and I thought it was an interesting pick to pick him. And my next pick is going to be John Morant. I think that once he gets a jump shot, his ability to drive to the basket and play make for his team is going to be elite. And I think he compares to a guy that is close to my heart as a Bulls fan, Derrick Rose. And if John Morant can get to that level of flair, then I think the Grizzlies can be one of the top teams in the league, and I think John Morant can be one of the best players on the championship team. CJ, you're up.
Well,
Yep.
do they have to currently be in the NBA?
What?
Do they have to currently be in the NBA? I was gonna pick Cade Cunningham, but
I was gonna say, yeah. I think we're doing currently in the NBA, but
this is hard. Let me think.
Jamal Murray, Bam Adebayo, Donovan Mitchell, Shea. Well, I don't pick Shea top 15.
Oh God. You know, this guy is often injured, like Zion, but if he can stay healthy, Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was worried about that. He's kind of like Porzingis too, because both guys are fragile, but have the potential to be really, really, really good. So, all right, Jacob, you're up with the last pick of this draft.
Oh, the last pick. Okay. I'm between two guys at the moment, but I'm going to go with Bam Adebayo.
Oh my God. What do you mean?
TJ, what do you mean?
It's the no jump shot for me.
Who's the other guy you consider, Jacob?
Donovan Mitchell.
Okay. I mean, dude, Bam is like a defensive monster, man.
Oh.
I'm gonna ask you. Did any of you guys consider picking LeBron?
Who?
No.
Did any of you guys consider picking LeBron?
No, he's like, what is he, 36?
Yeah. He's
5 years.
old. Like he's older, but like who knows with him, man? He's
I was thinking
insane.
about picking KD, but he's 31. 5 years, he's 36. So
Yeah.
Katie's way older than 31. He's like 32.
Come on, CJ, he's 31.
Did you look it up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean,
oh my God.
It's ironic to me that you're over here with Bam Adebayo with the last pick of the draft. Keep in mind the last pick, and you pick Trae Young at number 5.
Yeah,
because
over Jokic and Jason Tatum.
Number 5.
You know, like I said, just wait on it.
I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting, CJ. Trust me.
Okay, when he's better than Luka, I don't want to hit you guys.
Just don't see it, man.
So you guys are giving it no chance. He's a better shooter. You can argue that he's well.
Luka has the best player in his generation type of potential.
Wait,
here's what the
professional at 16? No.
Hang on. Does Trae Young have Steph Curry potential? I just want to hear it.
Here's my comparison. This is the Luka and Trae Young is like it's like LeBron and D Wade, or like Iverson and Kobe. Like he's like they're both all time. They're both really, really, really good players, but like Kobe and LeBron are all-time greats. I mean, don't get me wrong, D-Wade is too, and so is Iverson, but like they're a step down. And Luka's like a step up from Trae Young, and he's definitely elevated himself.
Here's how I describe the trade for Luka and Trae Young. It's one of those trades where it looks like it was so one-sided in the beginning, but then when the years go on, you just see that they were right all along. I still think Luka Doncic will have some sort of ankle issues, at least in the next couple years, similar to Steph Curry or early on in his career. But
so if he has early on ankle issues similar to Steph Curry, but in his prime that he's fine, then why wouldn't Luka be ahead of Trae Young still? Like he's going to be a better player.
Well, he can't shoot as good as Trae.
But I mean, here's the thing: like Trae Young and Luka's miss like the things that they don't have in their game yet. Luka is not an elite 3-point shooter, but if he is in the gym, creating his own shot, perfecting his step back, which is already elite in its own right. Like he shot 37% from the field and like 8 attempts in the bubble against the Clippers, who have two of the best defenders on the perimeter in the league.
Clippers were playing pretty token defense. I don't even know what the hell was wrong with Clippers this postseason. At time it looked like they weren't even trying. I don't.
Still, like Luka can fix his 3-point shooting. We already know he's one of the best rebounding guards of all time in his sophomore season. He's an excellent playmaker.
You don't compare guards and just talk about rebounding.
CJ, the fact that baffles me is you don't think rebounds win games. Prime example. We can go back to LeBron and Ray Allen saving his career.
Dude, I didn't.
Chris Bosh didn't get that rebound. CJ, they lose the game. Am I right?
When did I say?
Am I right?
Okay.
Am I right? It's a yes or no question.
When did I say rebounds don't win games? I've never said.
You said it multiple times, CJ.
I've never said
it multiple times.
I said rebounds don't. You can't compare rebounds with guards when all rebounding in terms of being guards is very based on luck, anticipation for sure, but athleticism also plays a key in it.
And Luka doesn't have insane athleticism, but he's still averaging like 9 rebounds a game.
Because it's all luck. Like you could.
And how is it luck? Like
how is
crashing the.
It's not like he's just sitting there at top of the key. Oh, a rebound comes to me. No, he's going to go get the ball.
Crashing the glass is a skill. Like you have to have that mental toughness to be like, okay, I'm gonna go bang with the big men down low. Like Luka is physically strong, and like in Trae Young's case, he just doesn't have the physical capabilities. He's 6'1".
You can't say, oh yeah, Luka Doncic, he's a better rebounder, so therefore he's gonna be better than Trae.
He's a better playmaker. He's a better defender. Like the only thing he has on him right now is shooting. Like
you could argue Trae Young, some of his passes he makes, Luka couldn't.
Oh my goodness!
No. Luka is the best. He is LeBron and then Luka and James Harden. James Harden, LeBron, they're in the tier by themselves, and then it's Luka and like Steph Curry. Like Luka's playmaking is insane. Like Luka will drive, 3 defenders will swarm him, protect his. They'll block his vision, and then he'll dime into the corner to a wide open Tim Hardaway Jr. or Seth Curry or even Porzingis. Like his playmaking out of the pick and roll and his playmaking driving to the basket is just out of this world.
So I just want to ask, what's the percent chance you guys give Trae Young being better than Luka? And don't say chance. You think it's 0?
1%.
1%.
Anything can happen, but like I'm firmly a believer of Luka being better than Trae Young, and I think a lot of other people are too.
I mean, that's fine. I don't want to follow like the flock of sheep, but
I don't think it's following if it's facts.
Yeah.
Well, what facts? Like PER, they're very similar.
I mean, did you think that like even in his rookie year, did you think that the Mavericks were going to be competing for a playoff spot with a not so motivated DeAndre Jordan, Harrison Barnes? Like they were an 8-seed contender before they traded those guys off to get Kristaps.
West was very weak. It was very, very top heavy. I'm talking about like the last couple seeds. They were
still like those weaker teams in the West would be like surefire playoff teams in the East due to the East bottom teams.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think I would give Trae Young about a 60 to 75% chance of being better than
60 to 75%?
See, I don't I don't care what other people may think. You know, they might get all pissed off hearing that, but I just base off what I see, and then I see Steph Curry and Trae Young. You don't see that?
Your eyes are very blurry.
Oh,
How do you not see Steph
Your eyes are
Curry?
very blurry.
How do you not see Steph Curry?
Go get your eyes checked out.
How do you
Steph
not
Curry.
Go with some more context.
Steph Curry is like he is the shooter. Like there's nobody that compares to Steph Curry.
Who's shown more this early on, Trae or Steph Curry, in their careers?
It's a different game. There wasn't as many threes being taken in Curry's second season than Trae's second season. And let's be honest, like, and also the Warriors had Monte Ellis, who was like another guard that wanted the ball in his hands. Like Trae Young, he is the ball handler on the Hawks. Like you're not going to see Kevin Huerter bringing up the ball, or DeAndre Hunter, or Cam Reddish, or John Collins, or any of those guys. Trae Young is going to have the ball in his hand.
Well, his usage rating was also lower than Luka's.
I mean,
I don't know what that is. So
I mean, but that's fine. But like, who is the more efficient player? The PER. Luka was the fourth best player in PER this season, which is insane as a friggin' sophomore player.
You'll see Trae. Once he cuts down on the turnovers a little bit, and I think they'll make the playoffs this year. I think. Yeah, I don't really care. You guys, of course, it looks like a very unpopular opinion, and it clearly is. But I'm confident in it. So I mean, it is what it is.
I don't know. I just can't see. I can't see in any freaking world that Luka is not better than Trae Young. I mean, everybody like. I just don't see it. All I gotta say, I don't see it.
That's fine. I mean, I don't get too offended.
All right, so I wrap it up.
yeah,
Sure.
you can.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to episode 4 of the Triple Threat podcast. I'm sorry we didn't get an episode out the last Saturday, and probably not this Saturday either, but we're busy college students and we have life things. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video, and yeah, see you next time.
All right, see you guys.